Hello, Hola, Konnichiwa, Salaam, Ciao Namaste. Peace to all. This is Soulology, the science of the soul. And what we are going to talk about for today. We talked about yesterday about spiritual experience, what it is, what happens to most people and the effects of it, and realizing it is not that far off from what we call the Kubler-Ross theory, or Kubler-Ross theory. We all go through our everyday life trying to be more of who we truly are. And today what we will be going over are 10 ways to help you in your spiritual experience. And we're starting now with number 1, self-care. What do I mean by self-care in any sense? What I simply mean is taking care of yourself. A lot of the time we are constantly looking to take care of other people, make sure other people are happy, make sure other people are taken care of, and we get frustrated at times, or we might not even care at times, to take care of our own self. It is important to take care of you first. And the reason why it's so important is because of the fact that you can't do anything until you start with you. You can't build a mansion until you've learned how to build a house. You can't build a house until you've learned how to build a shack. You can't build yourself up until you've learned how to build yourself up and know how to take care of you. Taking care of yourself both with your body, making sure everything's healthy, with your mentality, making sure your mind is healthy, stabilizing your emotions of self, knowing who you are inside is vitally important. In my own experience, I used to take care of so many people or care for so many people and never took care of myself in the process. And of course now that is completely different because I'm constantly taking care of myself to make sure I'm at my utmost highest to grow. And that means taking care of my health. That means reading. That means meditating to make sure my mind is at ease and stabilized, making sure my emotions are stabilized, which also leads to meditation. Making sure I exercise every day because it's important for me to physically be prepared for whatever I need. Take care of yourself. You deserve that more than anything, to make sure that you are happy and growing and loving to self. And speaking of love, number 2, self-love. We are constantly putting ourselves down, and it might be a comment that someone said to us that has affected us our whole life. It could be a situation of abandonment due to the fact of our upbringings of who we are that have simply left us in a certain state that we're not good enough. And the thing I can tell you is simply this: stop saying that for one, and love who you are. Love who you are as a person. Take about 30 minutes to an hour. Go out into nature. Go to a place that you feel you're comfortable with, if that's what suits you. Anywhere where it means you're alone by yourself. And for some people that might be terrifying, being alone. I understand, because of the simple fact that for many people, Being alone means alone with your thoughts, alone with your emotions, your fears, perhaps, your happiness. All those things inside you that consume you make you feel all sorts of ways. You're left with that all alone. And for some people, that is terrifying because of the fact that we might not be ready for it. But it's better to be ready now than to never be ready at all. We can put it off for so long, and then to a point where it might be too late. And the thing you have to understand is, of course, it's never too late. But don't put it off until later, because many people, as they grow older in age, they, as we would say, get stuck in their ways. And of course, these ways can be always changed, but the problem is we believe them not to be changed due to the fact of our reality of what we believe. This is why taking care of yourself right now is vitally important, and loving yourself for who you are. No matter your mistakes, no matter your issues, no matter what has happened to you in your past, love you for you. Take time to yourself. Go be alone and think of 10 things, 10 important things you love about yourself. And for the people who are watching this, if you've done that, put in the description, like the first day that you do it, what are some of the 10 things you thought about that you love about yourself? Genuinely, at your highest self. Now, number 4. Do not judge the journey. Don't judge the journey you are on. Everybody is on their own journey. Everybody is going through their own situation, their own life issues and whatnot. And you might feel, this leads again to self-love, you might feel like you're not good enough, that things are just horrible, that you could never, no one could ever love you. And don't judge your journey. Stop saying those things about yourself. Stop listening to the negative. A lot of us in today's day and age, especially, we take more negative information than positive information of self. If someone has told you in a sense that you look fat in that dress, compared to maybe 100 people who tell you you look amazing in that dress, you will take the negative and think that maybe I need to lose weight, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I do look ugly in this dress, over the 100 of people who have already told you how amazing you look in that dress. Don't judge your journey. We all have different experiences. We are all going through different things in life. But it is your journey. And that is something you have to understand very clearly. It's your journey. So keep going forward to understand who you are. That was number 3. Number 4, know what works and what doesn't work for you and your reality that you are creating. And what do I mean by that? Many of us are following other people to get to where we say we desire to go. And of course, there's nothing wrong about that. Having someone to look up to in a sense, to grow self, to understand self, because there are people that might have some information that might amplify who you are becoming. And you have to understand, you might have brought those people into your life. That's great. However, don't look for right or wrong, that this isn't right that I do this because of X, Y, and Z, or this is wrong, or whatever it is going through your mind. Realize what works for you. Don't go based off of someone else's ideology, even if you have people that you look up to. You have to find what works for you. Even if that person you idolize is doing that and you want to do exactly what they're doing, it might not be the thing that works for you. I've learned that in my experience. There were people I used to look up to, and I desired to do exactly what they were doing, exactly to the T, but I could never do it. And I always wondered, why can I never get it right? And of course you have people who tell you, well, you gotta just keep going, or you gotta just be stronger, you gotta be mentally, you gotta be disciplined, you gotta be this, you gotta be that. And sometimes it's just simply, you gotta find what works for you in the process of you, instead of what that person's saying. Maybe you take key points from what that person is saying, and maybe you take key points from someone else that they're saying, and other people, etc., etc. But you have to be willing to take your time with self and find those key points and create what you desire out of that. And if that doesn't work, maybe you have to do it all from scratch. Go for it. Go forth and create that. Do not let that stop who you are as a person. Keep going forward as who you are. Number 5, be in the moment. Be in the moment of everything that is going on around you. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about the past. Create what you desire in that very moment. Sure, you might be embarrassed. Sure, you might be sad. Sure, you will be happy. Sure, you will be angry. Sure, you might be afraid. But be in that moment. Don't look forward to the future, because when we're constantly thinking, we're trying to find ways to get to that future, and what it does is it muffles every thought process we have in trying to get to where we say we desire to go. Take it, as they say, with a grain of salt. You can't put the entire sands of every ocean, of every place around the world, you cannot put the sands in one jar. So take it with a grain of salt. Take time to yourself to enjoy each and every moment, no matter how bad, how good it is, because each one builds you. And you'll look upon each part, realizing how it built you. Number 6, smile more. You know, it's stated that smiling, when you start to smile for about 30 seconds or so, your energy becomes more positive. You feel as though you have more energy. And I've tried this experiment before, and it's a genuine thing that works. Smile more. Because if you realized who you are as the gods and goddesses and creators, if you realized how amazing, how magnificent you are, how infinite you are to all of this, you would smile a lot more. And I know people are going through situations and difficulty and crying their eyes out, not knowing what to do. But if you realized how amazing you are, you'd smile a lot more, knowing how brilliant and beautiful you are. That you are on a journey. You've done this several times. This is no different. You're just in a different universe doing the same thing to a different characteristic of you. But smile more. Because again, if you knew how amazing you are, you'd smile a lot more. Number 7, knowing that you're one with everyone in the universe. And what do I mean? That simply means knowing everything is connected. That, like we were talking about earlier, everybody is going through their own journey, their own situation, and understanding that aspect, that there is no reason to judge someone because they are on their journey, that to understand people at the deepest sense, that everyone is going through something, and if that person acts the way they are they acting like that because they genuinely just act like that, or are they being that way because they are still growing into who they are? Just understand that about people around you. listen, learn, and grow, and understand people and understand yourself. Number 8, which leads on to that. When you're learning how to be one with everything and understand you're one with everything, be kind to everyone. Because I want to leave this thought that if everyone around you was you, how would you treat them all? How would you act? Would you beat yourself up because of how they looked? Or would you be snooty to someone who was poor in the street and was you? Would you connive people of their money and funds when they're you? How would you treat them? How would you act? Think about that. Number 9, observe everything and understand everything. You might be thinking, what do you mean by understand everything? When I am talking about is simply this: observe everything around you. We are a species that sees things due to perception and not due to the fact of what is right in front of us. We do not look at things for what they are, but what we believe them to be. This can be seen in many areas around our world, from the politician who says one thing and the group who agrees with him, though it's obvious that they're lying. From those leaders who desire to help people gain money and will tell you, for example, if something is free, only to find out down the line it's not free. Or the food you eat that we believe, for example, is good for us. We talk about like GMO products, believing that it helps us, but chemicals were never meant to be in our body, and that's observable again. Now, what do I mean, however, though, on the understanding side? What I mean is to understand the reasons, to understand the people, to understand the actions of why they are. Many of us immediately will get angry about what we see, and that is understandable in itself. However, it is to understand why people take these actions and what reason, so you can grow more around it in understanding why people do what they do, why actions are taken, why things are the way they are. Now, that doesn't mean accepting it, but it does mean understanding what's happening around you and not worrying about it. Now, last one is number 10. Listen closely and question everything. What do I mean by that? Listen to everything that's told to you. Listen to everything that's told to you. Listen to everything that's going on around you, but do your own research. Question everything that a person states to you and realize what you're creating, because not everything is true, not everything is real, and many people will tell you one thing, but it's because it's a lie that's been told often. So now, look within self and find out deeply what really matters, what's really true, and what's really understandable in being who you are. So in conclusion, and I'll end it here, these are the 10 ways of understanding who you are. These are the 10 ways of growing and understanding your journey, your spiritual experience, and realizing that you are the gods, the goddesses, and the creators within. And we're ending it here, but realize that to know thyself is to know the creator within. And to everybody out there, have a good morning, a great afternoon, and a fantastic evening. To everybody, peace and namaste.